Stupid Garbage Podcast.
Oh, I like that.
Arm's length away from, it's the same distance.
Well, we're already recording, so.
Oh. Alright.
I can start over and get
No,
rid of that.
no, it's going to be just as bad, just different. So, how are you, darling?
I'm good.
Excellent.
How are you?
I'm doing quite well.
What was that hand thing that you just did?
It was just for you. Wasn't for the radio listeners.
Well, I don't know, because you always yell at me when I do that. Coming in, swinging. Did you know that, I think his name is Gene Dydrick? He died this week? Or last week?
Who is this person?
And he's the creator of Popeye and Tom and Jerry, and he is dead.
Jessica, he died in, 1914.
No.
The creator of
Listen to
Popeye?
me.
He must have been dead for at least 100 years.
Your computer is literally in front of you. Can you look up who this man was?
Gene died today.
Deitch. Deitch.
Okay.
Not Dydrick.
D-E-I. It's gonna take a while to boot up.
Oh, then...
I'm running Windows 98. No, it's, he died, 11 days ago.
Okay, see?
Yeah, he was, 403 years old. No, it looks like he was... Wow, quite old, though. He looks like he was 95.
Okay, well, he's dead now. Also, did you know that HBO is releasing a new version of Looney Tunes?
That was HBO? I thought that was something else.
It
All right.
could be. I don't know anything.
Great. No, this is fine.
My
this
facts
is
are purely from memory.
Is this your prep? Just Looney Tunes facts? I would love some Looney Tunes facts.
Is my prep.
I'll look some up. Do you know that it's Looney Tunes Tunes, not Toons? Like tunes like songs.
No, I did not
not
know that.
Cartoons.
Also, that doesn't make sense, but apparently HBO, I'm pretty sure, is releasing, and it's not like revamped old ones, it's like straight up new ones, and I can't decide how I feel about it. Because
they're making new cartoons entirely.
Some of them looked kind of cute, but then every once in a while, they would... this is going to sound really obnoxious, but they would not look how I remember them to look. They'd make a face, and I'm like, they don't make that face. That's not the face. That's not what that looks like. Obviously, it was a different artist. And therefore, the continuity got fucked up to me. And I'm like, this isn't the face that Bugs Bunny makes. This is a weird face where his eyes are a little bit too big and his smile is too wide or something. And it just irritated me. So I was like, I don't know if I can look past that, but I probably will. I wasn't really a big Bugs Bunny kid. So.
Really? Who was your Sylvester?
It's hard. I just like the villains, and they would never win, so I didn't really like Looney Tunes.
Yosemite Sam?
I liked Tom.
Okay.
And I liked the Wile E. Coyote. But the Roadrunner made me want to scream.
Okay.
Tweety Bird is annoying as shit. And Jerry's a little asshole. So...
What about, Daffy Duck?
No, Daffy was real annoying.
What about, Marvin the Martian? There's supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom!
Yeah, Yosemite Sam was fine. He was a little much, but he was fine. I'm pretty sure I have a hat of Marvin the Martian.
Really?
Yeah.
Like his helmet?
No, I have a hat with his face on it.
What?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wait, you have, a snapback baseball cap with Marvin the Martian on it?
No, I think it's, one of those hats where, the sides dangle down. I definitely have an Oogie Boogie one.
What?
Yeah.
I know you have that. I've seen that. But that makes sense to me because that Oogie Boogie's head looks like a hood or something.
No. Did I buy it?
I've seen that hat. It's stylized to look like the top of Oogie Boogie's head,
which
makes sense. Marvin the Martian's... Are you telling me that you have his head, you hunted him and stuffed him and then took his scalp? Or are you saying you have a hat that is normal except for it has a small logo on it that is Marvin the Martian?
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to look like his head.
Okay, so I asked you that 3 times and you
I'll
said no.
look for the hat link in the description.
No, stop.
You haven't given me a podcast to do in a while, so I feel like all of my links in the descriptions that I keep promising are not being updated.
So stop promising them.
Well, you should just assign me more work.
We can talk about this later. The Looney Tunes was originally developed to showcase Warner-owned musical compositions, and it had a sister show called Merry Melodies.
So it's like a Fantasia situation for Disney?
Ooh, I don't know about that, but let's see. Real reason behind the musically inclined compositions for the sale of sheet music and phonograph records. The names were also inspired by Walt Disney's musical series Silly Symphonies.
I was close, though.
I guess.
With the Walt Disney.
The adventures of characters that originally included the character Bosco. Okay. Alright. Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner follows certain rules and laws. It's actually been debunked. This is a shitty list. Bugs
Really?
Bunny,
it's been debunked?
Yeah. Bugs Bunny, one of them was the Roadrunner can never hurt the coyote or something. Or, a coyote can only come to harm through, his own means.
Sure.
That's just not true. If anyone who has actually watched a lot of the cartoon.
I hate how much, how many outright lies are just on the internet. And, anyone can just write whatever they want, and I just trust them, Yeah. Because I'm like, oh, they went viral, so clearly they're true. Yep.
Yeah. How many, in the original Looney Tunes, how many appearances do you think Taz, the Tasmanian Devil, made?
Oh, I like Taz, too. Taz was an asshole. Sorry, repeat the first part of the question? How many appearances did he make?
In the original, in the Looney Tunes, before
how many episodes were there?
Just take a guess.
I don't know. 25.
5.
5?
5.
Huh.
Yeah.
I feel like every single time someone asks me who my favorite Looney Tune is, I always feel this weird sensation of I'm missing somebody important, and it's very stressful.
What do you mean?
I'm I wouldn't have remembered that Taz was one of them. And, I feel like when I say, my favorite is the Wile E. Coyote, I feel like I'm missing my real favorite, and I can't...
There's Taz, there's Bugs, there's Elmer Fudd, there's Yosemite Sam, Marvin the Martian, Foghorn Leghorn.
The Frog.
Yeah, Michigan J. Frog, although, I don't know that he would be necessarily considered, a recurring character. I think he only had a couple shorts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's Daffy Duck.
No.
There's Lola Bunny, Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig.
Nope.
Tweety Sylvester.
Bro, I don't know what the deal is.
All right, well, maybe
you're
just... this is a terrible list.
What is?
This list that I...
Oh, this list of facts?
Yeah. Some of them aren't true. Some of them are just stupid. Bugs Bunny is the 9th most portrayed film personality in the world. I don't really care or know if that counts as a fact.
I think it's cool. Bugs Bunny, is a huge symbol for some fucking reason.
Yeah, well, because the Looney Tunes are popular, but this is just a boring list.
Anyway.
Let's see if this list is any better.
Do you remember at a corrections corner, or a thing I wanted to say yesterday that I didn't?
Mm-hmm.
The way we were doing, fake compliments, where it's what people say to make you feel good, but it actually makes you feel bad?
Yes, I do.
I read a comic on Instagram, and it said, it's when someone comes up to you and they go, I wish I could get away with wearing stuff like what you're wearing. And, it is supposed to be a compliment. It's wow, that's a really cool outfit, and I wish that I could pull that off, but I can't.
Mm.
So, I get that it's supposed to be a compliment, and they genuinely mean it as one, but the post was what they really mean is you dress like a clown, and I also am aware that you are cooler than me. But they are insulting your outfit, and I do get that a lot, because I wear a lot of weird shit, so people are always wow, man, I wish I had the guts to wear something like that, and I'm well, you could, you just don't like my outfit, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, alright, good corrections corner.
It would have been more relevant and more entertaining had it been...
It's okay. I had an addendum, too. I was talking about the elephantine colossus last episode, which was a 122-foot tall... Coney Island elephant, it was called, was a building that was shaped like an elephant, based off of Jumbo the Elephant, of P.T. Barnum fame.
Listen to our last podcast to hear more about that.
This will be... it was reported to have cost $65,000, built 2 years before the Statue of Liberty. It was said... I didn't read this part. It was said to be the first artificial structure visible to immigrants arriving to the United States. I would jump into the harbor.
What?
I would go overboard. I would say, I don't know where they've taken me, but this is not America.
They really...
Wow.
They really invested in this elephant situation.
Well, it was 122 feet tall.
Okay, but I still wouldn't be wow, you guys, this is our thing.
I don't think it was meant to be their thing. It was just happened to be on Coney Island.
You said they intended it to be one of the first things they saw.
No, I'm saying it was.
Okay. Don't get mad at me.
Don't listen to me. You're responding to something I didn't say. All right. Okay, anyway, the point that I was going to make was that it was originally had novelty stalls, a gallery, a grand hall, and a museum in what would be the elephant's left lung. The elephant's eyes contained telescopes and acted as an observatory for visitors. All right. Its manager claimed to see from the elephant's back Yellowstone Park, Rio de Janeiro, and Paris, which is obviously not true. Were people in the 1880s just had never been more than 50 feet off the ground?
Yikes.
Well, you could just tell them, oh yeah, it's 122 feet tall. You can touch the moon from up there. As Coney Island became more established as a center of tourism and leisure, the elephant began to serve as a brothel as well. That is the part that I wanted to add. That part just fascinated me, that there used to be a brothel in an elephant on Coney Island. Like across from, I don't know, a merry-go-round and a hot dog stand. You could go into a giant elephant-shaped building and pay for a prostitute.
Well,
in the 1890s.
Everyone gets to have fun.
Wave to immigrants coming to Ellis Island. What a life. So that was that. That was my corrections corner. Not really corrections corner, just an amendment. Addition. Yeah. So here's some better Looney Tunes facts. In the beginning of Looney Tunes, in his first appearance, Tweety Bird was pink, and he was named Orson. Oh, that sounds like it's not the same bird. In which he showed down, I don't know what that means, two hungry cats named Babbitt and Catstello. Ugh, terrible. Oh, God. In the second short, he was named Tweety, and the yellow feathers were drawn on later in response to criticism of the originally naked bird. Gross. Yeah.
So it was pink because of skin?
I guess. That's what this
That's
seems to be.
That's incredible, and I'm so sad. They should have made Sylvester a Sphinx cat, too, so he'd be naked as well.
That would have been gross.
That would have been my favorite show.
Disgusting. Disgusting. The theme song is called The Merry-Go-Round Broke Down. That's interesting.
Back to the merry-go-round motif. Blip.
Hey.
Blip. Be nice to
me. Hey, you're right. Wow. Okay, the first version of Speedy Gonzales had rat-like front teeth, one of which was gold.
Oh, is Speedy Gonzales the mouse?
Yeah, andale, rapido.
The racist mouse.
It's not racist, he's just Mexican.
It's probably still racist, though.
Well, I don't know. Marvin the Martian's dog is named Captain Kane. I didn't know he had a dog. I don't know. Do you have... Oh, do you like Pepe Le Pew?
Oh... See, there's so many more.
Penelope is a cat.
Pepe made me incredibly uncomfortable. I was like, you are a rapist, but also she should be more into it. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean. Sounds like you're driving down both lanes of the highway in opposite directions.
I am. No, I mean, he was super rapey and it was very disgusting, but she also, I don't know. I found her to also just be generally unlikable. So I was
yeah, she wouldn't put out. I get that.
No, but she just wasn't. I guess they did her a disservice. No, they did her a disservice by not giving her any personality at all, except for the fact that she says no. You know, I mean, I guess Pepe also didn't, but he was an obnoxious French skunk.
Sure.
Right, he was a skunk that painted himself like a cat, right?
No, maybe. I think Penelope was a cat.
Yeah.
And the stripe down her back was paint. That's what I seem to remember.
Why would she do that?
She didn't do it on purpose, I don't think. I think she got painted accidentally.
I want to say definitely not. I want to say every time that he would want to bone, he would paint himself.
Well, maybe you're right. I don't know.
We should look into that. Yeah, these details escape me. But yeah, again, I feel like there are so many more Looney Tunes that I don't think about. Like the mouse, I wouldn't have remembered him.
Speedy Gonzales.
Yeah. I don't know, yeah. Pepe was just gross, and she was kind of stuck up, and I think it's obviously they're both caricatures, but I found them both to be very unlikable, so no, I did not like Pepe.
Interesting. So, yeah, I'm watching, if you Google Pepe Le Pew, see, there's some dude painting the side of a boat, and paint falls on her, and thus she looks like a skunk to Pepe Le Pew. She's a black cat.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yeah. Why would
in
Pepe
every
paint?
scene though? I thought, how many
Yes.
skits do they have?
I
How
don't
does that
know,
work?
but that's the whole thing.
So she just painted in every single skit. She just happens to have paint fall on her, and then the skunk is like, "Yo."
Or it's permanent, or
I almost
it's
called
just
him
one
a skink.
episode. Or... I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know. This is what
Okay.
I'm letting you know.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, you do some more research and we can come back to it. I was looking up urban legends. I couldn't really find... All of the lists were pretty... Much like these Looney Tune fact lists, all the lists of urban legends were pretty terrible. One of them that seemed to be constant was the alligators in New York sewers.
Okay.
But the rest of them are stupid and non-specific too. Like, oh, if you see a car without headlights and you flash it to turn its lights on, you die. Like,
I do that all the time.
What do you tell? Who's telling you these? Not only are they obviously not true, these are boring stories.
Also, it's like a safety hazard to not warn them. Like, you should be
right, but
doing
if you
that.
do it, Jess, and you see this haunted ghost car,
you
die. It's like, what? It's like, oh, if you pull a hangnail, it'll get infected. Like, what a boring version of an urban myth.
Probably true. I have to say, it's kind of a bummer that I've lived, 49 years? And I have
Going on your 50.
I have yet to see a ghost, or really anything even resembling something. Do you just smell under your arms and then make a disgusted face?
Are we doing a bit?
Okay.
I didn't do any of that. Yes, and...
Your hands are definitely raised, and you definitely were making a face.
Yes.
Okay.
And...
I hate you?
Yes and no.
Okay. That was good.
Yes and no.
That was a good start.
And finish.
And end scene. What the fuck was I just saying?
You were talking about urban myths.
Blip, blorp.
I was talking about urban myths.
And then what was I talking about?
and
Oh,
then
I
you
have not
started
seen a ghost. I have not seen anything even resembling a monster.
About ghosts.
It's just pretty discouraging.
You should hang out. A lot of theaters claim to be haunted.
Yeah, I don't.
So I like to ask.
But then I'd have to go to a theater.
Well, yeah, a lot of people ask what the ghost is supposed to be. Like, a lot of people like to ask theater patrons or employees, like, who's the ghost. But they never ask what you're supposed to...
Generally of the theater?
Yeah.
Okay.
No one, I don't know that anyone ever asks what you're supposed to do when you see the ghost.
You run. You better hope you never see the ghost.
You can't outrun a ghost, Jess.
You can't do anything to escape a ghost, Rob.
No, but Jessica, listen. There are things you don't understand about this world.
Okay.
Obviously.
There's nothing you can do. If you run into a ghost, you're as good as fucked.
No, you're stupid. Some of them have rituals, and you have to bow to them, or else you have to... Don't look at me like you're not stupid. I guess you can't. So
Rob!
No, please don't stab me. Please don't stab me.
You get stabbed.
I don't want to get stabbed. If I turn into a ghost, I'm fucking up your entire, at least your week.
Oh, so different than any other week.
What else you got on that prep sheet, Jess?
That was it.
That was it?
Well, I wanted to talk about my toes some more, considering we just did a mini-sode on them, basically. And I was like, I have another fun Jess foot fact, because that seems to be a thing we're doing. Foot fact of the day. But it seems like that's not something that you're into, so
Walt Disney allegedly cryogenically froze himself to outlive the Jews, and I get it. The more time I spend with you, the more viable an option that seems like.
I'm going to kill you. Very soon.
Disney's Frozen has two meanings, apparently.
Yikes.
Thanks, sweetie. I don't know if he actually was frozen.
Yikes.
Do you have a favorite urban myth or legend?
No.
Oh. Alright, well, I
mean,
guess that...
all that's coming to mind is, like, the Yeti and the Loch Ness Monster. Like, that's what I think when I think of, like, an urban legend.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think, like, don't crack a mirror.
Yeah.
Or, like, don't walk by a black cat.
How about,
It's crazy that those exist.
don't walk under a ladder.
Yeah, like, why do those
Open an umbrella
exist?
inside. Well, I mean, it's common sense. Don't open an umbrella inside because it's a stupid fucking idea. Why would you need an umbrella indoors? Don't walk under a ladder because don't fucking walk under a ladder, you moron.
I don't know if there's, like... I mean, yeah, but it's not like, you know, you'll die from a ghost if you walk under a ladder. It's like, no, you'll die from the ladder.
I don't know. It's something you teach kids weird. Or people like you who don't listen to instruction very well.
Fuck you. It's not like there's no urban legend of like don't walk into the street without looking or else. Like there's not that. Like we don't need that to function in society.
Well, I don't know. Those seem like common sense.
Like don't play with
and yet
guns.
You like there should be stuff like that because you don't do that.
That's a choice I make. Guess what? I also walk under ladders and crack mirrors.
Sick of you. So
the fates cannot get me.
I mean, I don't really know what to do with any of that, but
they cannot.
I was looking at a list of 100 best children's books as compiled by Time. You know, Time magazine.
Oh.
And
that got me twice. I was confused when you clarified, and then you had to clarify again.
So Jessica's never seen paper media before.
No, I thought you meant like organized by time, and I was like, by time, who is time? Like Father Time? And then I was like, oh, he means in chronological order, like organized in when they were released. And then you were like, by Time magazine, and I was like, oh. To
be fair, English is your third language, so
yes.
But yeah, it has it's a very strange list. There are like 5 Dr. Seuss books, and some weird ones like Mr. Popper's Penguins. And something called Library Lion that I've never heard of, but there's no Clifford the Big Red Dog. It seems to be kind of lacking. The 80s on this 1 to 100 list is probably the strangest one. It has books such as Everyone Poops and Lily's Purple Plastic Purse and
that's vaguely familiar.
If You Give a Mouse a Cookie and Arthur, the first Arthur book entitled
Those got
Arthur's Nose
down to the 80s?
Back before he got whitewashed. Well, I don't think it's organized. I mean, maybe it is because the first one is Where the Wild Things Are, and then like I don't know. Maybe I think it's just random. Okay. But at any rate, so it's got Arthur and If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, and then number 81 is We Are the Ship: The Story of Negro League Baseball.
Oh.
I'm like, what?
Oh no.
Fuck. Why did this... I mean, I guess it's important to learn about Negro League Baseball, kind of, but not on a top 100.
Weird.
Yeah, it's very strange. This is like...
Maybe it was a great book.
I mean, maybe it's just the book itself.
Yeah, it's really just great.
Grabbed you by the balls, but...
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a movie title, or a book title, or, list. It's a...
Yeah, I can't imagine, though.
No, you can't just do these things.
Sorry, I just I felt the compulsion to punch Jess in the throat, but no. So yeah, I was just looking at that.
Don't say that when you know you're being recorded.
Why?
I've
never punched you in the throat in my life.
I know.
Also, if I punched you in the throat, I think it would be fairly obvious, even if someone
I'd be silent, probably.
Just listening. No, you'd probably cough or something.
I'd probably.
I mean, you just made that ruckus when I tried to get my feet around you.
You put your feet underneath my body and it hurt.
Right. So ribs. That's for me kind of pushing my feet very obliquely around your body. If I punched you in the throat, I think you would make quite a bit of noise.
Low key. I've thought about it a couple times. What?
And Thor. They're brothers. Half brothers.
I feel like...
Thank you.
I don't know. I always have that thought where it's what would happen if one day you did randomly hit me, which I know you never would, and we've been through this a million times. But, what do people do, genuinely, when they have a boyfriend that they, know and love, and then all of a sudden they just are in an abusive relationship, and they're what the fuck just happened? That's such a crazy...
I guess this isn't my life now.
No, but seriously, I'd be what would I do? Because, I remember you punched me by accident once in the middle of the night. In your sleep, you were trying to, roll over, and you, elbowed me in the face by accident.
Sure.
And...
Not an accident.
No, I think I, tried to confront you about it, but you were still asleep.
Sure.
And you wouldn't talk to me about it, and I was no, seriously, what the fuck? You just hit me in the face, and you were just go to you weren't.
I was drowning.
You're go to sleep.
I sleep in about 3 feet of water.
And I was I'm
an alligator.
And I know.
Do they sleep in water?
What?
Do alligators sleep?
I highly
water?
doubt it.
Oh,
I don't know.
You don't fucking know.
I mean, they can't breathe underwater.
No, I know, but they can float, and their noses poke above water.
Oh, maybe then. Maybe they float.
Do you talk? I'll look this up.
But anyway, yeah, so Rob was, asleep, and I was holy shit, obviously, I didn't feel in any danger whatsoever, but it kind of, also, that animal brain part of me was just oh my god, I was just hit in the face, I'm in a lot of pain, what's happening? And then I was just thinking about it, and I was what do these people do? Where it's if you don't have a house to go to, Like, if I could go back to my mom's house real easy, but then I'd be like, I don't want to give my abuser my apartment that I'm paying for. And, like, I don't know, it seems like a really tough situation, and also, like, man, oh man, I don't know.
Yeah.
What it would be like to fear your partner would be, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just fucking crazy to me. Or, again, to have someone that you love and you have this impression of them, and then all of a sudden they kind of, like, turn. Or, like, you find out they weren't who you thought they were. Anyway. I'm getting too deep for this podcast.
Yeah, to be...
just too dark, I guess. Oh.
That was good. To be perfectly clear, if I hit you with the intent of hurting you, you'd explode into a pile of dust. You're very...
That would be a lot funnier if you didn't say that last podcast episode.
They're not listening sequentially.
They're not listening at all.
These are one-offs. Yeah, you'd break like you were made of Legos. I'm very strong and you are extremely brittle.
No, but if
you're brittle as hell. You're like Nancy Reagan.
Listen though, even if you hit me with the intention of hurting me without really oh Jesus.
Good God.
Without really hurting me. You know what I mean? Like you're angry.
Sophomore year training.
Like, you're just a little pissed off and you want to get that anger release out and you just fucking hit me, but you don't, if you really hit me, I'll get really hurt. You don't want to deal with that. You just fucking hit me,
This sounds kind of premeditated.
Yeah, no shit.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't have a response to any of that, but...
I would be, is that a thing? Like, are people who are abusers definitely premeditate a lot of it, for sure.
I don't know. Alligators do not hibernate. Instead, they undergo phases of dormancy. When the temperature drops and it becomes too cold for them to be out in the open, they create a gator hole along the waterway that provides protection during extreme weather conditions. They essentially dig tunnels in the mud where they sleep, and when they come out of the gator hole, other animals come in and inhabit the area. Aww. It can be hard to say how long these gators will sleep in the tunnels. Yeah, it looks like they can sleep.
It's like peaches.
Yeah, it looks like they can sleep while they're floating in the water.
Yeah, that did not answer that question at all.
No, that's just something interesting that I thought.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like they can sleep in the water.
That's nice.
Yeah. They can get up to 20 miles an hour.
Although I guess they're probably apex predators, like, while in the water, so I feel like it is a good... If I was an alligator, I would also want to sleep in the middle of a lake. Who's gonna get you?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so anyway, good point. Yeah, I don't know what you would do if you got hit. I'd come up with some excuses, I guess. Like, it was a doorknob or something. I fell down the stairs.
You're saying, like, to other people?
Yeah, I don't know. Isn't that what
I would
people
never
do?
lie.
Get big, giant Rihanna sunglasses?
I guess. Yikes.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be one of those people. But also, I definitely, like, again, if this happened in our relationship, I feel like I would 100% make an excuse for you and be like, no, something must have happened where, like, Rob, something was wrong or whatever. Like, I would have just convinced myself that there's no way that could have happened. Good
Because
I love you so much.
Interesting. Sounds like you would be gaslighting yourself.
Yes.
Which is...
Makes your life easier.
No, it doesn't. Because then you would convince yourself that I was gaslighting you.
I always accuse you of gaslighting.
You're probably going to hit yourself and then convince yourself that I hit you. And convince yourself that I gaslit you into thinking that you hit yourself.
Oh, God. We need to install cameras. Man, we would be such a good movie plot, for sure.
First of all, that's not a full sentence. Second of all, no, we wouldn't.
Or, like, a movie about some of the weird shit that we go through, generally.
Jessica, we live such a boring, almost provincial lifestyle.
Are you stupid?
No.
Boring?
Yes.
We do so many weird things. All the time.
Well, I mean, maybe. I don't...
Like, we're boring in that we don't go to the bars and the clubs like other people our age every weekend and party.
We do weird, uninteresting things, though.
How dare you?
Like,
I went to an abandoned mental hospital this year. We go to the zoo, like, very weirdly regularly. I think that's at least interesting. If not, like, exciting or different. Like, no one does that. Most people do not do that.
I mean, I guess... Yeah, well, we'll see. I'll talk to my people at MGM.
We also... Well, I guess it's not. Anyway.
Wow, that was seamless. That was really good.
I was like, that's not something I want to share with the world just yet.
You're getting the hang of this, Jess.
We do a lot of things that I can't talk about on air.
Stop.
But I'm saying, like, we do things that are fun.
So anyway, I've been looking into...
We travel a lot?
Yeah. I've been looking into Arctic and Antarctic cruises. Speaking of travel.
See, that's a weird, fun thing. that most people...
Well, it would be weird and fun if we did it, but we're not going to do it. But,
maybe.
No, you
could do it.
I could do it, that's true. You hate the cold.
Girls trip.
And boats and long flights.
Yeah, no. You go to the North Pole, and then did you say the Antarctic?
Both.
Okay.
North Pole and also the Antarctic, but not the South Pole.
You do that, and then I will go with my friends somewhere fun and exciting. TBD. My first thing is just to go back to Paris, because that was extraordinary. But maybe I would take Erin to Greece, because she wants to go.
So, anyway...
Dropping names.
Yeah, there are some of these... We've already said her name on the podcast many times.
Oh,
there are... some of these trips last... The longest one is, at least... Excuse me. To Antarctica is the Falklands, South Georgia, and Antarctic Islands. You see a lot of penguins. It looks like a king penguin. It's 24 days, and it's about $11,000.
Oh.
Take a lot of pictures. You kayak a lot.
Cruises are usually, like $1,500 a day? Wait, nope. No, 150.
1,500 total is
like 150 a day.
Yeah, somewhere in that range.
Because I think I said that I wanted to go to one that was like 100 a day, and then I found a hard time finding one that was genuinely 100 a day, and I think it ended up being like 150 or 180.
So yeah, I mean, yeah.
How much is that? 11,000 for 24 days?
That's close to 500 a day.
Oof.
But you're going to Antarctica, so it's understandable.
Are there shorter trips available?
Yes, there's one that is only a couple that are only 11 days.
Okay.
That are down at $8,000.
Where do you leave from?
Antarctic Peninsula, New Year and Christmas in Antarctica. Antarctic Peninsula, realm of penguins and icebergs, and one of them, 23 days. The most expensive is $18,000. Is Falklands, South Georgia, and Antarctica. Solar eclipse in Antarctica. You go there specifically with the purpose of seeing a solar eclipse.
Oh wait, that's not as cool. I was thinking the like Aurora Borealis or whatever.
No, Aurora Australis.
Well, that concept.
If you're in the southern hemisphere.
Okay.
I would recommend to anyone, if you have the chance to go see a solar eclipse.
See, that's a cool, fun, interesting thing you did.
That's true.
Tell the story.
All right. When back in 1999, I got for my birthday, or maybe even before my 5th birthday, a book about the stars and space and astronomy, and one of the pages was about solar eclipses, or just eclipses in general. And I remember the book really vividly. It had black pages and white lettering. It was really cool. I loved the book. I still have it somewhere in like my mother's house, and I read it so often I wore out the spine of it. And my favorite was reading about the eclipses because it said the next one that's going to be visible, the last one that was visible from the United States, solar eclipse, was in like 1919, and the next one that's going to be visible is August 21st, 2017. And I thought, wow, that's my 23rd birthday. And I couldn't even, at the time, fathom being 23 years old. It's like, that's never going to happen. I'm never going to, like, people don't get that. Like, knowing my parents were twice that age, I was still like, that's not, that you can't do that. You can't be that. That's not, like,
doesn't exist.
I'll be like my dad. I'll be like a fully grown, like, that's not, that I can't wrap my head around that. So anyway, I had been looking forward to that for like 17, 18 years. And sure enough, the day comes around. I took off from work. I left on Sunday at like 10 p.m. Right?
I don't remember.
I left from here, which is in the New York City greater metropolitan area, and drove down to South Carolina because that was the closest spot. It swept from like Oregon down to I think Georgia or maybe even northern Florida, across the entire United States. And so I left at 10:30 p.m. and I drove for 13 hours straight. And I picked a place. There are a couple of towns that I could have picked because it's obviously a path that it goes across. But I picked a town that had the best chance of not having any cloud cover, and sure enough, it didn't. And I got there at like 1 p.m., I think, and then stayed there for like an hour and a half, watched the eclipse, and then got back in my car and drove 13 and a half hours back up and got here like 4 a.m, and then went to work the next day.
You're a fucking psycho.
It was great. It was fantastic. It was so much fun. It was,
I asked him, I was like really uncomfortable about the fact that you were like not sleeping and then you drove for 26 hours?
26 and a half, something like that.
It plus the additional hour that you were just chilling.
Yeah.
So you were just out for like straight like 28 hours, and I was like, are you okay? Like, what are you doing to make sure that you don't fall asleep on the road? And you're like, I have a bag of grapes, Jess, I'll be fine. Yeah. I was like, what a weird thing to say.
When I was driving back up north at like maybe midnight, or maybe even a little earlier, like 11 p.m., because I stopped at a grocery store thinking, like, I'm tired, I don't want to stop, I want to get home to Jess, I want to be able to sleep a few hours before I have to go to work. And I have to have something to keep me awake. I don't drink coffee. Caffeine doesn't really do anything for me. So I thought I'll get something that I can like eat on, and that I'll have sugar, and that'll keep me energized. So I got a bag of red grapes and a box of cheese nips. And then I got on the road, and I didn't even get, like, a box of cheese nips is not, like, I guess grapes are, like, have a lot of moisture in them, but it's still, a food. And when you eat a lot of grapes, actually, because of the skins, they can get surprisingly kind of dry in your mouth, almost.
Yeah.
Like, dry wines have a lot, it's the same thing, like, they can kind of...
For sure.
The skins are weird, and so I was just eating, like, a box of cheeses, and I was like, why didn't I just, like, get, like, even, like, a Coke or something, like, a bottle of water, anything.
You also got just, like, 2 carbs, too. It's not even
it was
2
weird.
food groups.
It wasn't, like...
If you had, like, grapes and cheese, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, I didn't get, like, a sandwich, or I was like, I didn't get real food. I spent, like...
Yeah, you could have got a fucking sandwich.
I spent, like, $7 on a bag of grapes and a box of cheese. I was like, what? As I was 10 minutes on the road, I was like, what the hell did I do this for?
Yeah.
And so anyway, that was a lot of fun. I
didn't realize, when I think of the word solar eclipse, I'm like, okay, or whatever, a planet's in front of another planet, woohoo, like, it doesn't matter to me at all.
Well, no.
A star is in front of whatever.
The moon is in front of the sun.
Again, that means nothing. I've seen a lot of eclipses in my day.
You've seen lunar eclipses.
Exactly. So I'm like, oh, eclipse. But this eclipse is really fucking cool. It's not...
So a solar eclipse, at least a full solar eclipse, is really neat. You see the moon in the sky. It's a full moon, and it starts to just get closer and closer to the sun, obviously. And then you can see it if you have, these special glasses, or if you have a lot of different things you can look up, like a welder's mask you can look up at it through.
Oh.
You see the moon.
You didn't have that, right?
I just had glasses.
Oh, you did have glasses.
Yeah, I ordered them online months in advance.
You are so fucking cute.
And so you can just see it passing in front of the sun more and more and more. And then you think, okay, it's going to go all the way in front of the sun, that's going to be it. But it goes in front of the sun, and that's called totality, where it's a full eclipse, and it's then very, very, very quickly. I went to a Walmart parking lot, because I went to Greenville, South Carolina, and that was pretty much the only thing that was... Yeah, I got off on an exit, and it was like a very long, like an hour-long line to get into town off the highway. And the only thing in town...
Because of the eclipse?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The only thing in the town was just the Walmart park. And there were it was like people were watching for a UFO or something. There were people with like custom shirts, and people would come in Winnebagos from, like the Dakotas or something crazy.
I mean, you did something like that.
Yeah, true. So anyway, I went to this Walmart parking lot because that's where everyone was congregating. And so the moon passed in front of the sun, and there was a timer that said 5 minutes. Someone had a giant timer on a speaker system, 5 minutes until totality. And so it went in front of the sun, and then in about 10 seconds, it went from being 2 p.m. on a sunny summer South Carolina day to being darker than dusk, I would say. Like the sky went very, very dark blue, and the stars, you could see stars. Especially at the horizon, which is far away from the sun, you can see a lot of stars. And then the Walmart parking lot lights, which are just automated, came on. Yeah, and then creepy. It was really cool. And then it was like that for like 90 seconds, and the moon started moving back out, so that the totality of the eclipse was over, and it started getting light again. And then
how long did this whole thing take? Like, how long?
Well, the totality lasts about 90 seconds. But
it's surprisingly short.
Yeah, but then, so after this moon starts moving back away from being in front of the sun, with nothing in the sky above us or anything, no clouds, no anything, you're just looking straight up at the moon and the sun, these weird, almost snake-like shadows start dancing across the ground, coming from nowhere. I don't remember what the name of them was, but that was really, really cool.
I think you had it, that was like the thing in the video that you showed me.
Yeah.
That you loved, yeah.
I sent you, yeah. It was really...
I'm pretty sad I missed it.
It was neat. There's another one in 2023, I think, that goes...
In Vermont?
Northern Vermont that we can go to. That I really think
yes.
we should. It'll be a lot of fun.
I'd be down if the world still exists.
Yeah, I mean, the moon and sun will still be there at the very least.
I mean, that's true. Even if everything is still quarantined in a couple of years.
We'll be fine. But, and the drive down was really interesting. I drove down... I'd been to Florida before, but I'd never really been to the American South. I don't think... I might have been, like, in a layover in an airport in North Carolina, but that was for an hour or something. So anyway, I drove down from New York all the way through into, like, the middle of South Carolina. Saw a lot of interesting things. The first thing you see, pretty much, when you drive into North Carolina is this humongous billboard, like the biggest billboard I've ever seen on the side of the highway. It was like nailed into a cliff, and it was just black background, and it was a those bathroom decals. So it said marriage equals a male bathroom decal plus a female bathroom decal, and then it had I think a Bible verse beneath it, and I was like, I don't think you should be quoting the Bible and using bathroom decals. Like, that seems like a weird mix of media. I don't understand
classy.
that. Yeah. It's like someone making like a Jesus themed rap, be like, like updating the Lord's Prayer for the 21st. It's like, no, don't do that. Either do it or don't. So that's the first thing you see when driving into North Carolina. There's also an enormous, like 100-foot cross, and then every mile there's another giant cross.
My mom, when we went to South Carolina, my mom made us hold our breath in between each church, like as a little game.
Yeah.
And like we could do it no problem. Like I never once ran out of breath.
Yeah, it's pretty bananas.
Yeah.
And I got like 500 miles in a minivan an old minivan on the first tank of gas, and I pulled off the side of the highway, and I think it was like 6:30, 7 a.m. obviously on a Monday. And I pulled into a McDonald's just to use the bathroom and then get something to eat. And then I heard someone in the drive-thru in front of me just order 4 biscuits with extra butter and butter on the side. I'm like, it's 7 a.m. on a Monday. Ooh. What are you doing with your life? This is how you're starting the work week? Ooh. 4 McDonald's biscuits with, I'm assuming they're like 50% butter anyway.
Yeah. They're probably made with butter, and then
just eat a stick of butter and have a tablespoon of flour. And do that 4 times. That's what you're doing. What the hell?
Yikes.
So anyway, and you can't even like go inside to do that. So that just you're moving too fast.
Yeah.
On your butter diet, you're moving too fast to get out of the. So anyway, that was just interesting, and it was driving through like Shenandoah in Southern Virginia, Northern North Carolina was beautiful, and it was a very fun trip, and
I am jealous.
I had a great time. Yeah.
That you went on it.
And then on the way back, I drove through, as the sun was setting, a very big thunderstorm, which is always a fun time. Yeah, it was really nice.
I have to say, like, when people get obsessed about something, like, that makes me happier than anything in the world. Like, I think it was cute that you had this plan and you were like, I'm going to do it because I want to, because since I was 5 years old, like, I think that's cute. But then you go, and, like, there are people that, like, made a fucking clock, and, like, they're wearing t-shirts, and they, like, rented a van with a couple of their friends, and they're like going a Winnebago. Like, when people get like obsessed about something, it makes me very happy.
Yeah, there are a few people there who I think were eclipse chasers, because from any given point in the world, from any given point on the planet, you can see anywhere from 1 to 3 lunar eclipses a year, which is just like when you go outside and it's a full moon, and you're like, oh yeah, the moon is red. That's weird.
That's the one that I saw with my family, and I was like, that's cool, but it's not worth driving.
Yeah, they're not that interesting, and also you don't have to drive. They
were cool though.
Yeah, they're cool, but you don't have to drive anywhere to see them. You can see one every 4 or 6 months or so. Yeah. You can see them all the time, and then every time there's an eclipse, it's the blood moon, it's a super moon, it's the March. Yeah. Corn moon, and every single time there's some reason why this one's special, and this is the only super blood moon in February that's gonna in 35 years that'll be an eclipse, and then every single one looks exactly the same.
But one's in Taurus.
Right. Mercury is in retrograde. Blow it out your ass. Lunar eclipses.
We saw a lunar lunar eclipse. Yeah. We saw a lunar eclipse. Like, it was me, my grandma, my grandpa, my brother. And we were at a science museum, and, like, we stayed all day, and it, like, turned dark, and we were like, all right, time to go home. And then we saw this, like, eclipse, and it just felt like the nerdiest thing in the world, because we had just got out of, like, a science museum. Yeah. And when I think about it, I'm like, did that really happen? Because it just seems, like, too weird and perfect of, like... Or, like, we were in, like, a space museum or something. Like, it was very weirdly... And I was like, oh, this always happens at space museums because, like, duh, why would this not happen? And, like, it was the only...
You learned nothing.
It was the only one that I've ever seen in my life.
You spent an entire day at a science museum and you learned nothing.
Yeah, I was just like,
the magic of the space museum has turned the moon red.
Yeah, like, I was just like, duh, this would happen here and now. Like,
you have to sacrifice a lamb to the old gods.
Yeah, it did not occur to me at all that this was, like, a really cool, unique, special thing. I was just like, yeah, we're at a museum. Obviously, we're gonna see some cool shit.
Get in the fucking car. They put coloring, like, dye in the water, and then the moon and the tides communicated.
Yeah, this is obviously a trick of the museum, Grandma. My God.
Just get in the fucking trunk. We're gonna put you on the roof while we drive home. Yeah, but so you can see a lunar eclipse from wherever you are on the planet. You can see probably 2 a year.
Okay.
But a solar eclipse, you can't see. I mean, even though there was one in the United States a couple years ago, you couldn't see it from here, like New York, from most of the East Coast. So you can't often in a lifetime, you won't probably see a solar eclipse. But it's really cool, and it's a lot more than just the moon turning pink.
Yeah, I would like to see it.
And also, the moon turns red anyway. If you've ever seen the moon rise, which happens, like the sun rises, the moon also rises. When it rises, it's usually red, and then it turns, orange to yellow to... Usually when you see the moon is yellow, it's because it's near the horizon. Or orange, it's because it's near the horizon.
I don't think I've ever seen a colored moon.
I think you have. And so, I remember I saw the moon rise once over the ocean when I was in Maine with my mother, and I saw it once when I went into... I grew up in Massachusetts. I went into Boston to see the 4th of July fireworks, and I was on the Cambridge side of the river, so we were looking at Boston. So we watched, like, to our left we watched the sunset, and then to our right we watched the moon rise, and as we watched that we saw as the sky got dark, the Boston skyline lit up, and then we watched the fireworks. Nice. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, the moon rises like the sun does, and it's usually red like an eclipse when it's near the horizon.
Telling you, I've never seen that.
It's not that... I believe you. I'm just saying it's not that difficult to see, whereas a solar eclipse is very difficult. Apparently, though, you can chase them because there are some in every part of the world. Or not always, but in given times there are.
But to
sometimes,
what?
Just you like to see them. They're fun. So some people chase them, I guess.
I can get into
and
that.
You can go on a cruise to the Antarctic to see one, and it's only $18,000. Also.
Wait, I thought you said that the most expensive one was more than that.
The most expensive, these are Antarctic. The most expensive one that I found was to the North Pole, dear reader, and they are all going from the same point in northern Russia, and they just go from there, from Murmansk back to the North Pole and back. They are all 13 days, and they are all about $30,000.
Wait, where do you leave for the Antarctic?
That's actually a good question. Let's
like
pick
South
one.
America or like
I mean, probably.
Africa?
It's probably like southern Argentina or something, which is very close. Let's see. Let's do the solar eclipse in Antarctica one. Let's see if we can find it.
Like, can I take a cruise from Miami? Do they leave from New York?
I'm gonna guess they don't leave from anywhere in the northern hemisphere. Yeah, they all leave from Argentina. This one's Ushuaia. This one's Buenos Aires. Yeah, they all leave from southern Argentina. So there you go.
Is that the southernmost South American country?
Argentina and Chile might run down pretty close there.
Not to brag, but did you see how I just guessed that?
What?
I mean, you guessed the country, but I guessed the continent, and that's very shocking.
South America?
Yeah. Rob,
Didn't
I'm
I say that?
pretty... Didn't I say it? Oh,
you said South Africa, didn't you?
No, I said South America or Africa.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you didn't. I mean, you guessed 2 continents there in the southern hemisphere. Good job.
Look,
job. You did a good
I was
job.
gonna say Australia, but then I was like, I don't think so.
I mean, Australia is quite close to Antarctica, but it's on the other side of the world.
Someday I guessed it right. How incredible!
You did a good job.
Thank you.
Chile runs pretty far down south, but it's on the west side of the continent, obviously. And let me see a map. I don't know. It looks like it does go all the way down there. Like this is Chile.
Oh,
and this is
it does.
The green is Argentina on this map.
It's just by chance.
Well, I think this looks like it's probably closer.
Yeah.
So anyway,
but just so.
It's just so. So yeah, you can go on those. Would you go on any expedition like that?
I don't give a fuck. I'd go anywhere.
You go to Mount Everest?
I love adventure.
Yeah.
Well, I think if Mount Everest wasn't such a difficult physical thing.
Yeah.
I think. Sorry, time check, dear reader.
It's 10:20 p.m.
Perfect. I think that if. Mount Everest, even, people have to actively train for it, and even those people might not make it, and that, to me, I'm like, this is... I can't justify it, and, I don't have a lifelong goal like that. I wish I did.
Yeah.
To obsess over for years would be really cool, running a marathon or something.
It's funny, whenever you read about these North Pole or South Pole or, Mount Everest expeditions, they say, Edmund Hillary was the first person to summit Mount Everest. He got to the top of the mountain on May 26, 1949, with 4 Sherpas guiding him. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm sorry.
What did
he do? You tell me none of the Sherpas did it just fine, but none of them had ever done it before? Blew it out your ass.
Wait, yeah, that's a good point. The first man ever to do it.
The first person to ever summit Everest. He went up there with he was guided by 3 Sherpa. I'm like, so wait a minute, where the fuck were they there?
Fuck you.
Yeah. So anyway,
but,
I mean, yeah.
I think that. I mean, I don't know. I have a lot of like general travel goals, but I wish that I had more specific ones. Like, you know.
Okay.
Well, there's like a festival in Venice with like the masks, and I was gonna bring that up, but then I was like, you know, as I get older, the less I want to do that. Like it seems, and like Spider-Man featured it in their movie, and I was like, meh. Doesn't look that cool, but stop your pressuring me.
I'm just. Oh, I was supposed to have it a couple days ago. My last impression was Ricky Gervais, except it's not Ricky Gervais. It's what I think Ricky Gervais's name makes him sound like.
Oh, I love this one.
My name is Ricky Gervais. I'm here to make white people nervous. That's it. That's the whole thing.
I know we're out of time, but
like Speedy Gonzalez. Yeah,
we can talk about the expedition thing on the next one because I'm sure you have some.
We'll see what happens. See you later, pod racers.
Fuck.